Not a disturbing sounding baby.
We don't like not fun babies.
Right, no, it's true.
Cool. So for a player jumping into Pearl Market, what would you tell them? What do you think would be like the best idea? What should they utilize the most in the map?
I would say that there's a lot of cover on the map. Okay. So, you know, definitely moving carefully and be prepared for action around just about any corner.
So should they utilize the rooftops more, or is it safer to be on the ground?
You know, it depends. Like, especially on a map like Alliteration, there are bomb plant spots that are up on the rooftops. Okay. So you can grab a bomb. You have to go up on the rooftop anyway, but you got to find a way to get onto that rooftop that might not be as defended as another place.
Okay. So, you know, Battlefield 4, one of the biggest things that was really the selling point of the game was levolution. So why don't we kind of look at some of the levolution in the map? Why don't you kind of highlight for us?
Interesting enough, for Pearl Market is actually one of the maps we decided to actually pull back on levolution.
Really?
You know, over the course of the entire pack, we really wanted to dive deep into a levolution and make it very meaningful instead of spreading ourselves too thin.
Okay.
So Pearl Market actually, the je ne sais quoi, if you will, of the map is the tight corridors. It's the intense action. It's the fact that things fall apart. It's the fact that that wall isn't there when you anymore because somebody blew through it.
Right.
So
it's really just trying to stop those links and try to form your own.
And spawn on each other. You're also allowed to spawn on the points in this mode. So once you cap it, it's quick as in Domination. Your whole team can spawn there. Right. You can kind of come from the other side and surprise them.
I like that.
So that's a big difference as well.
And they're still trying really, really hard.
Yeah,
it's all one of those points. Now it looks like the Chinese are moving on over to Charlie, and it looks like they're just going to keep on just marching forward. U.S. is trying very, very hard to try to hold on to at least 2 of their points. They've got the 2, but Chinese is holding on to the 4. But they're trying right now. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Let's see if we can get a hold of the leaderboard. Maybe not. But anyways. So David, with the live team, with you're trying to do with the CT and everything, what's the most enjoyable part of your job? What have you really enjoyed the most with being a live producer?
It's been so much fun seeing this game from the beginning, where we had problems, right? But we have had the time and we put down the effort, and we got so much feedback from the players, and not only the positive feedback, obviously, but all the constructive criticism we're getting.
Most definitely.
And trying to act on and give them what they want.
Right, and even players got to use some of the new weapons from Dragon Seed in the CTE, so they were able to even help you with balancing so soon into implementing a new DLC.
Yeah, and everything from the netcode to all the content of this pack and the next pack, for that matter, is gonna be available there first. So you can kind of help us make it as good as you want it to.
That's really cool. You guys have done that for the community, giving them the ability to do that for you guys.
Frankly, I couldn't wish for a more active community than we have. The guys that are on the CT are awesome. Thank you guys for being this active and helping us out this much.
Most definitely.
It's not something we can ask for really, but they are doing it, and it is great.
That's great. So right now, it still seems like the Chinese,
here.
they did, like you were saying, they come around, sneak, and start to back cap, and it looks like the U.S. is holding on to Gulf and Foxtrot, and then they also have their 3 points up there, so right now...
But you don't count the points here, you count the links.
Oh,
so
you count the links,
right, plus that one, which they just lost. And so they were actually in the lead there for a short while.
And then at the end of the timer, whoever has the most links is in
bleed
points,
the other team, so once their tickets are out, you win.
Got it. I'm definitely going to have to play this so I can get a feel for how Chainlink runs in Battlefield 4. But is Chainlink only going to be available in Dragon's Teeth, or is it going to be able to be played on vanilla maps?
Possibly. It's not in this pack now, though, but there's a possibility if we find maps where this works out, that we implemented it on the maps. We don't rule that out.
That'd be cool.
We're doing a lot of changes to Rush now, for instance, on the CT.
Right.
We're looking at Conquest Small next, and so on. So no, I wouldn't rule it out, but currently in this pack, no, we don't have it.
Other thing like Chainlink on like Metro, or even like Caspian Border,
could
that would be really cool.
There's
to unlock the Desert Eagle.
Yeah, that was something different that we're doing, in that we want you to use the Unica 6, which is the other revolver that we've added.
Okay.
And part of it, we wanted to make sure people try that revolver before they just jump straight to the Desert Eagle.
So with the Unica, is that very similar to, like, let's say, like the Rex or the Magnum? I mean, what does it feel more like?
The Rex is what it's most similar to.
Okay.
It's an interesting revolver in that it's actually a semi-automatic rather than a double-action revolver like the other ones. But it's the same caliber as the Rex, and it's just a little more interesting, exotic.
And then revolver. We also have a new addition to the sniper rifles,
the CS5.
And then what is that similar to? How does that one work?
That one is it's meant to be. We tried to theme everything close to the close quarters motif. So we wanted a small, compact, maneuverable sniper rifle. So it's a faster rate of fire. It's got a faster bolt time, better for close quarters, and it's it has a lower bullet velocity because it uses subsonic ammunition. But with the suppressor, it's actually the best suppressed rifle. Sniper rifle.
And it already comes suppressed.
It's optional to equip it, but it doesn't have the same penalty. I believe it doesn't have exactly the same penalty as the other sniper rifles do. It works. It's more designed to be used suppressed.
I love how you guys are just focusing more and more on the infantry combat. I mean, yeah, Battlefield's all about vehicles, but like we had in Battlefield 3, you had close quarters.
Right.
With this, it's kind of bringing that back, highlighting that key part to Battlefield.
Exactly.
Very cool. And then we also have the Bulldog.
The Bulldog, yeah.
Let's talk about the Bulldog a little bit.
Okay. The Bulldog is an M1-based bullpup rifle. Its closest equivalent in the current game is a SCAR, and that's a 7.62 battle rifle instead of a 5.56 assault rifle.
Okay.
Like a lot of our other ones are. So it packs a little more of a punch. Per shot, has a lot of recoil, but is a pretty brutal weapon as long as you can tap fire it
so you don't want to like spray and pray. You want to be tactical with this thing.
Exactly. In fact, it's one of the more effective rifles when you switch to semi-automatic mode. Up close, you can use full auto, but I find myself all the time with a 4x scope switching to semi-auto, and it's almost like a DMR in some ways.
So we're playing Sunken Dragon. What are some of the cool things, some of the key features that we're seeing here in Sunken Dragon?
I guess the coolest of Sunken Dragon is the Sinking Dragon, the restaurant in the middle of the lake that you can sink. So that's the levolution of it.
That's the levolution. So you're able to control the water levels in that area?
In some game modes. In other game modes, it's actually part of the progression of the map, like in Rush.
Okay.
It'll drain at a certain point.
And so with Conquest, it would be a very strategic thing to kind of have control of the control.
That's right.
That raises the water levels.
Right. Yeah, you can get around by boats and things like that when the water's up, and then when the water is down, you can actually use all the things that are in the lake that is covered. Navigate a little more directly.
So you talked about boats. Are we going to see like Sea-Doos and rib boats? We're not going to see big attack boats.
There's no attack boats in the lake.
Okay,
no.
Good. Just want to make sure. So what other?
And when we're all playing, we're sitting right next to designers, and if there's a problem, the designer will say, "Hey, this is in the way. Hey, the sight line's wrong." So just by default, we are always interfacing with design. And then artistically, we're artists, so we're always looking at it visually as well. But we're always kept in check in terms of what design requires. And then we play the games, and we see the stuff that annoys us. And sometimes we move stuff because you can't get a vehicle through, or that sort of thing. So it's actually a very organic, fluid kind of a thing.
So right now we're playing Capture the Flag. That's the game mode that we're seeing right now. There is a levolution effect that we'd see once the flag is captured. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that? The flag hasn't been captured yet, but why don't we talk about that just a little bit?
Sure. So we wanted to do this, this epic, big levolution event, a la